There's something deeply nostalgic about an old typewriter, not just the look of it, but the sound, the rhythm of the keys striking the paper, the movement of the carriage, the feeling that every word being written actually mattered. When I was a kid, I used to lay on the floor in my dad's study while he worked on his weekly sermons. I'd spread books around me and quietly read while he sat behind that old mechanical typewriter preparing messages for Sunday morning church. I can still hear it. The slow clacking of the keys at first while he gathered his thoughts, the sound of the paper being adjusted in the roller, the occasional pause while he flipped through his Bible or searched through stacks of study material spread across his desk. Every once in a while, he'd stop and ask my mom how to spell a word before going right back to work again. And then eventually, once the message finally came together in his mind, the typing would begin in earnest. Clack, clack, clack. Steady, rhythmic, almost hypnotic. There was something strangely comforting about it. Even the little imperfections became part of the experience. Sometimes the ribbon would act up, sometimes a key would stick and need snapped back into place. None of it slowed him down. He just kept typing away with 4 or 5 fingers, completely focused until every page was finished and carefully placed into that folder for Sunday morning. Back then, typewriters felt alive. They weren't silent machines hidden behind glass screens. You could hear them working. You could feel the mechanics behind every letter on the page. And honestly, opening this ROKR mechanical typewriter model brought every bit of that flooding right back. I've built several ROKR models before on this channel, including Space Shuttle, the Cuckoo Clock, but this project was easily the most intense and involved build I've tackled so far. The model contains 324 precision-cut wooden pieces, and nearly every section hides some kind of moving mechanical assembly underneath. Gears mesh together, linkages pivot into place, tight bars rise and fall with surprising realism. As the build slowly progresses, the entire machine begins to feel alive in your hands. And that's what makes this project so captivating. You are not simply assembling a decorative model, you are constructing a working mechanical system, piece by piece, learning how every movement connects to the next. There are no batteries, no electronics, no shortcuts, just engineering. The quality of the parts immediately stands out as well. The laser-cut basswood pieces are smooth, clean, and fit together with remarkable precision. Most components separated easily from the panels, and each connection locked into place with a satisfying firmness that made the process feel incredibly rewarding. The fact that the entire model assembles without glue is honestly impressive considering how sturdy the finished piece becomes. At the same time, this is absolutely not a beginner-level puzzle. Several sections require patience and complete concentration. There were moments where I had to stop, study the instructions carefully, and make sure every tiny mechanical component aligned perfectly before moving forward. But strangely enough, those moments became some of my favorite parts of the experience. There's a certain calm that comes from working through a build like this. Hours disappear quietly, the outside world fades into the background. Phones stop mattering. Deadlines disappear. Your attention narrows down to the next gear, the next lever, the next carefully placed piece of wood. And after several days of building, when the final assembly finally comes together, there's a genuine sense of accomplishment that's hard to describe. The finished typewriter looks absolutely stunning on display. The black finish combined with the gold accents gives it a bold industrial elegance that immediately draws attention. It feels like something that belongs in an old study surrounded by books and handwritten manuscripts. Even sitting motionless on a desk, it carries a certain mechanical character that makes people stop and look closer. And once someone turns the knobs and sees the mechanisms begin moving, it becomes almost impossible not to smile. I also appreciated that ROKR included spare parts for some of the more delicate components. With a project this intricate, that extra attention is reassuring and shows they understand the experience builders are looking for. For anyone who enjoys mechanical design, puzzles, model building, woodworking, or simply creating something meaningful with their hands, this project offers far more than decoration. It becomes an experience. And by the time I place the final piece into position and watch the mechanisms begin moving for the first time, I wasn't just thinking about the craftsmanship of the model anymore. I was back in my dad's study again, laying on the floor with a book in my hands, listening to the steady clack of an old typewriter, preparing something meaningful for Sunday morning.